How much would it be worth to you to have a clear investment strategy for crypto? One that allows you to understand when to sell and when to buy it, without scammy signal groups that we can all agree on are not working anyways. Today we share how the Genesis system works, that led us to generate predictable returns like a simple Bitcoin to Ethereum rotation that led to a 40% gain. Today we will drop the curtain on how you too can become a systemized investor.
Hello, my name is Jacques, and I do the first portfolio screening calls with our new CGP members as soon as they join. And I see a recurring pattern with every single one of them. They only invest based on a few indicators, but they do not have a 100% clear, am I going in the market or no strategy. They basically just take a few indicators, like for example, long-term Bitcoin valuation metrics or basic support and resistance TA to determine, okay, when should I get into the market and when should I get out of the market? Most of them, they come to me and they're like, okay, like I need to identify in what part of the market I'm at, and based on that, I need to find my entry, but I'm not exactly sure. It's not black and white. Are we in the bull market or not? It's not very clear. And then my exits, I just have this Fibonacci tool, but oftentimes I don't reach my levels and then my altcoins go down 70%. So I'm not really sure how to set my exits. They tell me, Jacques, I want a clear framework. I want to not freestyle. I want to know when do I get in, when do I get out, and what do I buy?
So, and this is a perfect introduction into our first question of this episode today. You said structure, and they want to have something which is black and white, which gives them clear signals on what they should do at the current point in time. And we can lift the curtain a bit. We call it an investment system. Can you maybe introduce the people a bit to what an investment system actually is?
Yeah, so a lot of people, they just think it's a super complicated thing, because when you throw the word around like system, framework, they're kind of freaking out. Yeah. Like it's some complicated, magical thing. But at the end of the day, it's just a clear framework. It's a set of rules which lets you shut off the part of your brain and let the machine help you with your investment decisions. Because our human psyche is not made for investing. We have so many biases, like, for example, the recency bias, sunken cost fallacy, et cetera, that make your human brain not compatible with investing, because investing is very mechanical, mathematical, and rules-based. So you need a clear set of rules. When do I get in? When do I get out of the market? And it's basically just answering your question, like, should I get in or not? And what coins should I buy? And that's with the help of a computer. That's basically what a system is. And when you think that, a computer is something, very complicated or something unattainable, I can assure you it is not. Like, everyone can create a system. It's super easy, at the base level, obviously. And with very easy methods, you can already achieve super high gains. Like, it's crazy. But obviously, if you want to be in the top 0.1%, it's another story. But to outperform 99% of people, you just need a machine that helps you do certain rules where you get in, get out of the market, and lets you identify, okay, what coin should I buy? So you can just switch off your brain, and it does the work and calculations for you, and you just need to make the decision.
All right, now we have established what an investment system is and how it can help people and get them more into this like systemized investor role. I think it would be very helpful for people to understand like how they can start with it. Like, how can you, like, what is the structure of a system? You gave us like a proper overview of what a system is. Now let's go a bit further, like one level deeper.
All right. Now you are all here because you like crypto and you want to invest in the crypto market. So for example, this is the most base level system. And I'm just showing you this so you understand. Okay, I'm personally not using this system, but after my example, you will understand 100% what a system is. And you will also understand that it's actually very simple, right? We talked about how systems are actually not complicated, and I'll showcase this to you right now. So basically what you can do is you can take the total chart or even the Bitcoin chart. Let's take the Bitcoin chart, and you put in what's an indicator that everyone knows. moving average,
Yeah.
RSI.
Moving average is good. RSI is also good.
All right, let's take the RSI, right? So, for example, you can make a rule every time, or no, let's make it even more simple. We take the 50 DMA. Everyone knows the moving average, 50-day moving average. So you put the Bitcoin price, and then you enable the 50 DMA on TradingView, wherever you're charting it, and then the most easy form of a system would be, okay, should I invest in Bitcoin? Yes or no? And then you just look if the Bitcoin price is above the 50 DMA or under the 50 DMA. Then you can put the rule, this is a system, this is a framework. If Bitcoin is above 50 DMA, hold Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is below 50 DMA, do not hold Bitcoin, hold cash, right? And that's just the base level system, the most basic you can get ever. And obviously, I don't think it's a good system. Actually, I haven't tested it, but please do not invest based on that, just so that's clear.
A bit more complex.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need to be too complex, but it needs some nuances and some details as well. But that's the most simple thing, and it's just an if-then equation, right? Yeah. It's just like it's a simple formula.
And it's actually like, if you think that's too simple in order to be something that is valuable, like a lot of hedge funds out there have like rule books that look exactly like that. If something happens, then I do X, Y, Z. Just their rule books are obviously a bit longer than just one Google Doc page.
Yeah.
All right. So now we have established that what a system is and how you can imagine it. And I think to summarize it, it's basically a if-then rulebook.
Yeah, exactly. And it just, you don't have to think. You're like, oh, but there's this interest rate decision, but are we in a bull market or not?
Yeah.
Don't care. Look at the 50 DMA. Is it above or under? You don't need your Fibonacci to exit or your, I don't know, like TA, like support. When do I get in? When do I get out? Because it's super hard, right? And it's very subjective. Is what you guys want clarity, right? And with this method, which I think most people are using, you just don't have this black and white clarity.
Yeah.
There's this room for interpretation, and you can like twist the charts in your human bias. If you're bullish, you say like, this is bullish.
Yeah, you put like a subjective lens
exactly
on the market. And I think that's like where most people make the most mistakes. Simply, like, you could do that if you are a very well trained professional investor. Yeah. Then you have like the right lens on the market, but most people don't have that, and they have to understand where their starting situation is before they start like putting in like their subjective opinion into their decision-making process. Now, let us walk through like the first step of a system. So we have covered what it is, how it looks like, the benefits of it. Let's walk through like the first thing that you would say people should put into their system in order to become a more profitable crypto investor.
All right, so I think the question I get asked the most is like, I don't know if I should hold this coin or not, or I don't know if I should be invested in crypto at all. So the first thing anyone should do is just identify, should I be in crypto or should I be holding cash, right? And then you can try out many indicators. I just told you the most simple version with the 50 DMA. If Bitcoin is above or under, you either hold crypto or you don't hold crypto. Super easy. So this is the first thing I would concentrate on and try many combinations. Maybe don't only use the Bitcoin chart, but you can use the total chart on TradingView. And based on that, you can make a rule. Oh, okay. Because total is basically the market cap of crypto. And if it's trending to the upside, then you want to be invested. You want to take that upswing. But when it goes down, why would you hold it, right? Because the trend is going down. So just a very simple framework on when do I get in and when do I hold cash? When do I hold crypto? When do I hold cash? This should be the first exercise and the first mental model everyone should put on paper. And then once you are kind of happy with it, just implementing it. And then we come to the other steps.
Yeah, it's very important. It's like the the thing that most people fuck up is not actually like there are some people who make money with like some crypto coins and they hold Ethereum, they hold Bitcoin, they make some money through the bull run, but most of them lose it. Like it's the first big problem that needs to get solved is cash or crypto. And if you have answered that question, then you can go further because then you start optimizing your gains. But if you are not entering and exiting at the right time, like in general, all the optimization, all the little altcoin trades here and there, they are not increasing your wealth because you don't know when to hold crypto at all. Like this is a very important thing that you have to understand, that you have to start at the beginning, and the beginning is most of the time the boring thing, right?
Yeah.
So the little like actionable, like the action which stuff of which altcoin should I hold, which altcoin should I buy now, this comes right after. But this is the follow-up question, because me too, like I get this so often on Instagram, like what altcoin should I buy? Do you have like a simple system?
Yes, I will do a very simple example for that, and that's the next question that we always get. First is like, should I hold crypto, yes or not? And the next is, okay, if I am in a phase where I should hold crypto, what crypto should I hold, right? So then you can make a major rotation system. So that sounds complicated, but you can basically make a system which tells you if you should buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? Because depending on how strong they are, you want to be holding the winner of the two, because you can make way more money than just trading Bitcoin, right? If you can do the both and always have the best asset in your portfolio, this is where you make a lot of gains. So basically what you can do is you take the Bitcoin ETH ratio. So what is the Bitcoin ETH ratio? Is if you go on TradingView and you search for BTC/ETH, what it does is it charts the ratio between Bitcoin and ETH. And what's a ratio? It is Bitcoin divided by Ethereum. So if BTC ETH goes up the chart, it means that Bitcoin is stronger and you should be holding Bitcoin. And if BTC ETH is going down, it means that Ethereum is stronger. Thus, you should be holding ETH. Now, how do you know if you should hold Bitcoin or ETH, right? This is exactly where we charted it. And I'll just do the exact same example. You take the 50 DMA, right, on indicator, you just go in, or just any simple moving average, which you want. It can also be the 21 or, just so you understand how it works. And then, easy rule, right? If BTC ETH is above the 50 DMA, you buy Bitcoin. If BTC ETH is below the 50 DMA, you hold Ethereum, right? And then you always know what coin to hold. And then you have a two-step framework, right? And it's kind of like a fork at the beginning. It's like, do I hold crypto, yes or no? Then you have yes, no. So this is the first step of your algorithm, right? And then if it's no, then you just hold cash, do nothing. The other branch is yes. Then comes the next branch. Should I hold BTC or ETH? Boom. And then let's say it's Bitcoin, and that's the end of our branch. And it stops here and you're fully allocated to Bitcoin. That is the most basic system anyone can have, and I think it's very intuitive and very easy to understand. And every day you go through the same algorithm, right? Is total in an uptrend or not? And then at some point, for example, if you're allocated in BTC or ETH, and the first question tells you, okay, actually the total chart is below the 50 DMA, so it means that we're in cash now, you just sell your position. And then you just recheck this first condition every day. If it's yes, okay, invested, BTC or ETH, boom. Pretty simple.
It's pretty simple, yeah. And
that's a system.
The system like that you have covered, like obviously with some adjustments alone, is already like pretty good one. I think, like I talked about this in the beginning of the video, like the Bitcoin Ethereum rotation gained us an extra 40% profit on this specific Ethereum trade. And we were allocated to Bitcoin beforehand and then rotated into Ethereum simply because this exact system that Jacques was just describing was telling us, go into Ethereum now. And people, like, I think most people, like, they stay allocated too much in the specific majors. Like, we have been talking about this in a previous video already, where we did like the portfolio analysis. People hold all majors at all times, and this is like a very big portion of their portfolio, or it should be a big portion of your portfolio if you're not a degen. And optimizing this side is way more important than optimizing like the 5% gains that you make on like high risk altcoins. So if you optimize, like, this should be again like your highest focus, because usually if you have good risk management, this is where the most gains sit. And 40% gains don't sound like a lot, but if it's on 40 or 80% of your portfolio, this is changing like the outcome massively. And it's not necessary to look for those 5 or 10x gains. Because of risk management, you would allocate less to those plays, and this then leads to you making less returns in dollars than a 40% gain on 80% of your portfolio.
Yeah, so I mean, this is what changed my life as well. I had the same exact portfolio as everyone. So I had like BTC, ETH, Sol, a little bit of Cardano, XRP, and all this stuff. And this was like maybe 60, 70% of my portfolio. And then I had like 10 altcoins. I had like Ondo, Render, Chainlink, you know, all the classic stuff, right? Yeah. This is how 90% of every portfolio looks like out there. And then I came across systems because I just lost so much money, yeah, right? By holding these altcoins, because you were told that you can hold them. No, you cannot. You can only hold altcoins when the conditions are right. And how do you know how the conditions are right? You have a system, yeah, right? So I lost so much money because the prices were just going down and I was just holding these altcoins, right? And same with ETH. Right, at the beginning there were some phases where ETH just went down while Bitcoin went up, and you know, it just didn't work. But then I changed it, and instead of allocating a little bit in BTC, ETH, Sol, I just put like 100% or 80% in the strongest one. So ETH leads the way. Okay, I'm gonna go in. Boom, huge gains. Then it's Solana's turn. We go all in Solana, or 80%. Boom, portfolio just skyrockets, right? And then at some point we see the trend slowly shifting. Boom, we're in cash, right? Nothing happens. We protect all our gains that we made through ETH and Sol. We just protect it. Boom. And then you make more gains and your downside is like limited, right? Like the equity curve, your money goes like up and then a little bit down as soon as the trend changes, then flat, we're in cash until the trend goes up again, and then boom. And then you just take every trend and just make a lot of money. And my altcoins, I discarded like all of them almost, and I just buy the select few ones which are outperforming all the other altcoins. I mean, this is an extra step, but for example, like Ondo or Render, I made a 10x on Ondo because I basically entered at the beginning. When the uptrend was forming, I made a 10x, and then the trend went down, I went out. And then I never entered it again, and I just entered in other coins which went up as well. And you know, everyone that comes in here is like, yeah, I'm holding Ondo, Render, Link, and they're all down 60, 70%. I'm like, okay, you did a good thing. I think fundamentally these might be good, Ethereum as well, right? But it doesn't change the fact that you need a system that tells you when to buy the fundamentally strong coins, right? Because if you just apply fundamentals, you cannot outperform in every market situation, right? In 2020, 2021 maybe, okay, because there were other circumstances, you could basically hold anything in the world and it would go up. It was like the everything bubble. But it's not always like that. You always have small pockets where you can do that and hold altcoins. Yeah, and most of the time you cannot, and that goes way deeper, but I could talk hours about
that for hours. All right, now let's answer the question, will this make the viewer a millionaire overnight? Because people want fast money, right?
They have 900,000.
So,
I mean, the basic system, which I just told gave them or our systems?
The basic system.
Yeah, no.
All right. It will help you 100%. You will already have, you have to understand that what we have shared will already give you clarity. But if you really want to level up and if you really want like to have a good working system without doing all the hard lifting yourself, like figuring out the different indicators to look at, figuring out how much of your allocation goes in which coin. Like there are so many things that we couldn't cover today because we're limited in time. If you still want us to help you with that and go through the one-on-one portfolio screening session with Jacques, so your portfolio gets organized, structured, and you just gain like more confidence in what you're currently holding. There's a link below the video where you can apply for CryptoGameplan. You just have to fill out a quick application, won't take longer than 2 minutes. But we really want to work with people who are interested in becoming a systemized investor and who are also a good fit for us because we don't like to work with everyone, obviously. Our time is also capped and valuable, and for that, we don't offer that to everyone. So with that being said, I would say we covered a lot today. It was very directional. You can act on that today and already gain clarity, so I would highly recommend you to test out the things that we have just been talking about and not just listening. And yeah, with that being said, I would say see you in the next episode.
See you guys.
Bye-bye. Meine Stimme ist ein bisschen gefickt.
Robin, komm!
Du hörst es ja bei meiner Stimme.
Nein, da ist gar nichts, Digga. Red dir sowas nicht ein.
Geht halt so.
Red dir sowas nicht ein, Digga. Du redest krass jetzt. Ist das klar?
Ja, ich rede nasal.
Nein, du redest nicht nasal, Digga. Du redest krass jetzt für diesen Podcast.
Ich rede wie ein G.
Du redest wie ein G, danke.